Hi, I'm posting this video to show you how to fix a shower tub valve. And let me tell you the history. Last year I had the same situation where it was leaking real bad. At the same time too, I did buy a cartridge, I replaced it, and I had the worst case scenario where basically I had to really gut out the whole cartridge because it broke apart and calcium buildup was so bad it actually was stuck in there. And let me show you exactly what I'm talking about, because when I took this apart, even last night I had issues taking apart the stem and the handle, and inside is all calcium eaten up. At the same time too, as I try to replace it, I did get the core puller or the valve puller tools, and I bought a Moen temp repair kit, basically replacing the gaskets and valves. So I was thinking that's what was leaking. But as I did a research, I did my homework, asked all the home improvement stores. Basically, it's really all that gunk and mineral buildup that builds up in the sediment. And I do have a water softener, but unfortunately, the water softener didn't help. And I started to have at least a gallon leak per night coming out of the spout, and figure it's coming from the cartridge. So when you start on this project, also make sure you have a drip bucket so you can catch anything that does fall in there. But I do already have a safety catcher down there in the tub drain. At the same time too, I just want to show you a secret, and if you do subscribe, I'll tell you exactly a lot of hints and details that doesn't show on other people's videos, because there's a lot of things that's not in details, especially majority time your cartridge will be stuck in there, and it's all because of the calcium buildup, mineral buildup, or anything else like that. Even when I try to pull out my handle, for example, I had such a hard time last night, spent about 2 hours, and so I had to drill out the screw that I was holding in there. And so I pretty much damaged the handle, but at the same time too, that's a good thing. Why, about 4 years ago, I bought a lot full of miscellaneous tub supplies for under 30 bucks. And it has all universal parts for the Moen, Delta, and all the accessory parts, which is a great deal for 30 bucks, because each of the packaging it retails about $40-50, especially trying to get plumbing parts. And when I bought the puller, it was about $12, and the repair kit was $3, and the other Moen temp repair kit was about $9 just for the rubber gasket. But I won't need it, because how I actually fixed this repair was simplified. Was that when I put in the puller in here, and I did turn off my main water stoppage, and then when I was putting this in, I was pulling on the cartridge, and then I noticed the drip was starting to stop. And so basically it was just a little adjustment inside of the valve. And when I got in there, it was pretty simple, that sometimes you don't need to replace the cartridge. It's just a simple adjustment, or pulling the cartridge, getting out that sediment, and see if you just need a repair kit that you can just replace, because these Moen cartridges is over $40, which is ridiculous, because anything below that, like the 1225, is only like $20 for the cartridge, just for the valve itself. This is last year's. I pulled it out, replaced it. But knowing the situation, I asked advice from everybody who's in the profession of plumbing. They said pretty much all these valves will get sediment, corroded, stuck, or something that would start to leak, and so they don't build them like they used to. I also even changed out my spout and everything else, and even the spout itself had a lot of sediment built up, as you can see. So it's pretty bad that how the sediment and the hard water really builds up. Even though I have a water softener, it's still, I set my water softener not to run as long, because the electricity and water does get used up a lot, especially in here in Jacksonville, because they charge for sewage and everything else. So no matter how much water you use, you get charged for it. So the bottom line to fix it, subscribe, send me a note and everything. Will respond to you. But pretty much I did a fix by just using the puller, and as I was pulling on it, that's how I noticed the drip stop. So from last year, my cartridge is still good. It just needed little adjustments. What happens inside of here, it does get pushed forward sometimes, because my my handle just goes left and right, and sometimes it gets pushed forward and it starts to leak that way. Because if you look behind the wall, I did break into it last year and also try to fix down to the spout, which I welded and soldered the piping and everything to make sure I have a nice solid body back there. So I realized that I was going to change this to a Delta